I want to talk to you today about ESG. Now, if you're an investor, you probably know a lot about this today. It's environmental social governance. Essentially, it is a metric being used on companies by investment firms like BlackRock to force companies to hire certain kinds of individuals to meet certain quotas. And if they do the right things, say the right things, they're on the right side of climate change, if they're on the right side of transgenderism and LGBTQ plus issues, etc., they get a good ESG score. Okay. Now, to describe why this is going to be a bad situation for companies, I want to use an example or use an analogy. Let's say you have a patient and you got a thermometer, let's say electric thermometer, and it's broken, but you don't know it. And every time you check their temperature, it says 98.6. Meanwhile, he's got 102 fever, but you don't ever feel his forehead. You just, he looks good. He looks good. And you keep checking, and this broken, I know it's a simple case. I could use other devices as well, but I'm just saying so people understand it. You're not getting an actual reading of how this person's doing, and maybe the fever is going up and up and up, and pretty soon they pass away, and you realize, why did they pass away? Because your thermometer was broken. So that's really what ESG is. ESG is a broken thermometer. It used to be that we based a company's stock price on their price to earnings ratio, PE ratio. Now that is based on, you take the earnings, the revenue, the earnings of the company, and divide by the number of outstanding shares. That's the earnings per share. And then you take the stock price and you divide by that earnings per share. So let's give you an example. Let's say you got a company and let's say you've got $10 billion in profit. Okay, profit. Not revenue, profit. So, and let's say you got 1 billion shares outstanding. So you got an earnings per share of $10. And let's say stock price right now is at 90. Okay. And typically for your sector, most stock people would give you a P ratio of 10. So really your stock price should be at 100 because 10 times 10 is 100, but you're at 90. So overnight, when you report those earnings, most likely you'll see your stock the next day rocket up to 100 because that's where you should be at. It's a good measurement of how the company is doing. Apparently, you're doing something well, right? Maybe the previous quarter, you were at $9 per share, right? Now you're at 10. You're doing something right. And so your stock price goes up. And of course, the opposite is true. Your profits go down because you're not making good decisions, on your product line and so forth. Your stock price will adjust to meet that new earnings. Now enter ESG. Now you got companies like BlackRock who aren't measuring companies' health on profits. They're measuring it on how woke they are. Okay, Are they promoting climate change? Are they promoting, certain leftist viewpoints? Are they promoting Black Lives Matter? Are they promoting all these different social outlets, right? Are they putting rainbows on their products and so forth, right? And so if they do those things, BlackRock, who owns a lot of the 401k plans today, they will keep that, they will put that company in their portfolio, and say they've got a great score, right? And so their stock price maybe even goes up. Wow, awesome, right? So now let's say profits in that theoretical company go down. Let's say instead of 10 billion, it's down to 7 billion the next quarter. Ooh, now we're down to a $7 per share, and we were at $100 price point. Our stock price should drop to 70. We're doing something really wrong here. Okay, profits went down by 30%, but What happens is BlackRock, using their metric, their broken thermometer reading, they're saying everything's fine, everything's good. We're keeping them. We're not selling our position on them. We're going to keep them in our stock portfolio. We're going to keep all of our 401ks invested in that company. So guess what? Stock price stays the same. Now, who cares about the stock price the most? The board, the CEO, and all the vice presidents, and maybe even junior vice presidents. They care about stock price. The upper echelon care about it. Why? Because bonuses are based on stock price, right? They get lots of, shares, stock options, and so forth. They're all based on that. So as long as the stock price stays high, all is good. And so they don't make any changes to the company. I mean, why would you make any changes? You're making the same money as you did last year, right? Everything's good. So you just keep going the way you are. Meanwhile, revenues are going down. Maybe the next quarter it's down to $5 billion. Hello? No change there, right? Stock price stays the same because BlackRock says it's okay. And the stock just keeps going down. Now, maybe you're living off of borrowed time. Maybe you've got savings that you can pull out to live off of in the meantime to pay your employees, because it's the employees, the lower people, they care about profits because it's profits that pay their salaries. Without profits, there's only one option: layoffs. And so what happens is eventually they run out of cash and they have to start having layoffs, right? But if their ESG score doesn't go down, the stock price doesn't go down, right? They may do some layoffs, but they still don't make any corrective actions to fix their profits. And it just keeps going down and down until finally it can't sustain itself, right? And they go bankrupt. So basically, the ESG score gives a false narrative on their stock price. And so that's what we've seen in these banks in the Bay Area that went under. They were investing in companies not based on the quality of their product or the quality of their ideas. They were basing on, they seem very woke. So they were investing on wokeism. And so those companies went under. And the banks were, if somebody goes under bankrupt, they're not going to be paying back that loan. And so these banks went under. It's all based basically because they're invested in the wrong things. And until we get back to investing on profits, not wokeism, we're going to see more of this. So anyway, that's my idea of thoughts for today. And I hope this helps you understand what's going on today. I'll talk to you later.